Hi, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a portfolio overview. Today is May 12th, 2021. Before we get started, this video is for educational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. And I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. Also, if you like these videos, please like and subscribe below. It really does help me out, and I do appreciate it. Also, you can find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. I post there pretty much daily, my thoughts and ideas and what I'm seeing in the market. All right, so let's start with the cues. Um, Obviously, we had the double bottom, and then we had the retest, and we tried to break out, and things rolled over. And I put I like the Ripster moving average cloud sometimes to kind of show trend. And as you can see here, this is a 9-day, by the way. This middle one is 23-day, and there's a 65-day, all EMAs. And now we're having crosses 9 over the 23, 23 is starting to turn down, 65 is flat, price is under all of them. All right, so that's a very it's not a good look for the market right now, right? Where do we see that? We saw it in here before, right? We see it in here, we saw this in here kind of. So, you know, it's telling me that there's more likely to go down than it is to go up. This is the 300 level, has always been an important level. So that's a place to keep your eyes on. All right, so that's the cues, not looking real good. So let's see how my portfolio did. And I think some of these are going to be new. So here we go. So CHX, I bought here as it was breaking above this area at 22.24. On this huge spike here, I had my automatic sell in, and which was prior resistance. I sold one half of it at 24.76. And it's funny because I just happened to get actually no, this was predetermined, so it automatically put in the sell for me. Anyway, the next day it tried to break out, kind of came back, and now it's showing a decent bar, still above the 23-day. All the moving averages are rising, above all its moving averages. So this one's looking pretty good. Palantir. So Palantir, I've talked about before. My average cost was 26.66. I mismanaged this one completely, and so my new line in the sand was this green box. And so this was sold last week, and I didn't put the sell in here, but it was sold last week when it broke down here. So I'm out of Palantir. I'm going to take this out of my list. Where you go, Palantir? There you are. And I'm going to, boom, it's gone. So Palantir was, even though it had a great day yesterday, it's below all of its moving averages. The VWAP from the IPO is starting to turn down. This is an just overstretched bounce, in my opinion. It had earnings. Now, if it gets back above 21, maybe, that's a place is a false breakdown and it jumps back up. We'll see. But as of right now, it's just not interesting to me. I do hold this one though in a longer term account that looks out 3 to 5 years. So I will hold it and see what happens with it. I think longer term, this is a nice company. It's just wrong now. VALE. So here is VALE. This was the big breakout. I bought it as it came back in to some of its moving averages right over here. It has continued higher. And I sold half on this bar right here. And this was an interesting bar because I sold it at $23. And I had my sale in automatically, obviously, but I saw pre-market, it was going to gap up above that price. So I took it off, waited 5 minutes after the market opened to make sure I could capture the entire, or at least most of the gap. I got pretty darn near the high, and I sold. The sale was going to happen either way because that's just what I do. So I got about 13%, I think it was. So I got a little more alpha in there. Then it turned around and sold off the whole day, and that's why I like to put those predetermined paydays in there. So half was sold at $23. The next day, it kind of came right back. Um, good volume still. This one still just had too much space here, with all that white space. So I'm not surprised that it needs some consolidation and maybe it happens a little bit longer. Who knows? Um, as these moving averages close out some of this white space that it tends to get and then pulls back into. But I'm still in VALE, VALE. So this is Ternium. So I bought at $40.23 right here. And immediately the day after I bought, boom, it just sold off, man, which is fine. And then there was a second day, and it was a constructive day because it sold off in the morning, and then it created this beautiful hammer. So my rule was to sell 2 days underneath the 23-day EMA. But because of this candle was so strong, I gave it some grace, and so I'm gonna give it one more day. And if it fails early on or gaps down or something like that, I'm out. And the reason why is because I love the setup, right? So I used, yes, I have rules, but I'm also going to try to use my brain too a little bit. Um, and I don't know if this chart's gonna go back all the way. I'll just go to weekly. Yeah. So if you notice on the weekly, this is in such an important area, right? It's been here, just looking back to, you know, 2010, right? It keeps hitting this area, going back to a daily, so now we're back here, and this is the important area. And so if this decides to break out here, the move could be huge. And look at all this accumulation that's been going on as it's been basing. I mean, just these gigantic skyscraper green bars. Um, so, and then also on the consolidation, on this downtrend right here, look, nobody was selling. Boom. This low volume consolidation. I mean, I love the setup. I still think it's actionable. Um, in here, I've made just not that much money off of it, just some pennies. But this one looks really, really nice. We'll see what happens today. But if it can get above, this area, 41, we'll call it, close above 41, that'd be an amazing spot. All right, that's TX still in this one. I bought on 5.4 right there, and I have my sell already in place. Next up. So we talked about last time that I'm going to layer into some Ethereum because I like the use case on it. And so it finally won me over. So I did my first buy on 5.4, which was right there. This bar right there. Let's do this so I can make my life easy going forward. 5.4. Perfect. And so I haven't bought any more since because it just keeps going up, right? We know this won't last forever. We know that there's gonna be a pullback. I mean, could Ethereum pull back all the way back to 1,500? 1,400? It absolutely could. So I'm not disillusioned. I'm not a zealot in this zealot. But I do think it's just look at the trajectory that's on now. I don't know if maybe it does, but I'm not sure if this is going to last forever. No matter where I go, everybody's talking about Doge. They're talking about the new one, ENU, whatever. They're talking about Bitcoin. No one's talking about Bitcoin anymore. They're talking about Ethereum a lot now, and they're starting to get into all these altcoins too. So that is, I think this is peak when you have, stock clerks and in every walks of life, people talking about how much money they're making in crypto. I mean, if that's not a sign of exuberance, I don't know what is. Not saying this can't continue, but I think there's going to be better buying opportunities in the future. Um, you know what? Ethereum could hit 10,000, but but I don't know if it's going to hit 10,000 first or 1,400 first. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. And as of right now, um, I like this little bit of sideways movement right here, and it kind of blasted off. Great, good for me. But I'm gonna wait on any buys until I see another consolidation period or something that makes sense. All right. Next up, Newmont Mining. Um, yeah, so got to go with what's working, right? And I think miners are about to really start to work. So I bought on 510, right there. And to be honest, it was a little extended. It wasn't the best buy. It kind of sold off after I bought it. So I bought it 68.65. It sold off. Um, I got a little impatient, I guess. I was going to wait for this pullback. The next day, in the morning, it did gap down. It would have made a much better buy down here at the 67 level, but it shows you the strength. It rallied right back. Zooming in a little bit, just waiting for the moving averages to catch up. A little consolidation here would be absolutely fine with me. I think miners have a good, you know, I think they're looking really good right now. Oil and gas names have been working. So again, I bought some FANG, FANG, right here. There's been some good accumulation in these names. We had the big run up. Now we have this beautiful cup trying to make a handle. We don't know what's going to happen. Of course, that whole gas shortage thing with the cyber attack happened, and so that's playing into this chart a little bit too, without all the details known. But yeah, so it's it did show some strength yesterday as far as buyers coming back into the market. Um, and we'll see where this leads. But I do like the name. It did, pull back, logical area. I would love to see this move higher today, though. I don't like it hanging out down here. So we'll see how it reacts today. Kirkland Lake Gold. For one point, this was a really hot stock. And then, went through this big downturn from 2020, right? It's just straight down, basically. And now this trend line has been, it's came up, it's kind of retested it, and now it's moving higher. So I like that. Look at this beautiful candle over here that happened yesterday. A lot of stocks were there. It is a outside bar right there. So we'll call this a bullish engulfing. So I think that this is very much likely to go higher. I do have a position, obviously. That's why it's on this list. Again, look at this beautiful accumulation. Here's your pullback, and you're looking at on these, this consolidation right here. Just no sellers. Lots of big green bars. Love that. I'm in a REIT. It just feels weird saying that, but I'm in a REIT right now, and this is Kimco. Um, it was back up to in this place. This is back in 2019. I mean, did very, very poorly, went down to $7, and now it's back to the scene of the crime. So let's look at what it's doing recently. So I bought in on 510, right? So 510, which was right here. Again, a little impatient on this one. It reversed lower. So I bought it at 2167. This is not a fast mover. It's more of a grinder. But I do like that there's been some nice volume coming into it. And, we'll see what happens here. A little pullback into the moving averages and then the breakout. That'd be fine. I'll be patient with this one. Again, it's a REIT, but I think that, if my theory of interest rates are about to go higher, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, I think REITs can be a benefactor of that. All right, if I'm in FANG, I need to be in VNOM too, right? So Viper Energy. This was a nice little, I don't know if you want to call it a cup and handle or some kind of double bottom, right? It tried to break out. Of course, um, May 10th. Again, I did a lot of buys. I was probably a little impatient with my buys. I probably shouldn't have been in front of my screens as much because a lot of these bars reversed, came back down, and now it's showing some. Now it was a nice bar yesterday. Now we want to see it kind of move back up again. Kind of a VCP type pattern maybe happening in this, maybe not. We'll take a look. It depends on what happens today. Um, but yeah, so a little bit underwater in this name, nothing crazy. So I'll stick with it for a little bit and see how it plays out. And so my last new purchase was Caesars, CZR. Again, this was a beautiful cup, trying to make its handle now. A little indecision here on yesterday, Tuesday, but I bought it again as it was trying to break out. Sorry about that. As it was trying to break out on the 10th, which was this day right there, Monday. So it was trying to break out. It reversed on me. This was a very small position, by the way. I wrote half. It's probably closer to a third, to be honest. Very small position. We'll watch it, see what happens. It's a nice looking setup. I like how it was in prior uptrend. Then it's beautiful consolidation, and now it's just trying to do its thing. So that is Caesars, CZR. Now, I've talked about this before. I'll switch to a line chart. All right, so here's the line chart of TNX. And this is the ticker if you're looking for it up here. TNX is the 10-year yield, all right? And I'm not a bond expert in any way, shape, or form, but in my opinion, I'm going to take off these clouds. Boom. And I'm going to take off this cloud right there, just to give a little bit of a cleaner chart. I mean, we have a prior uptrend, we have consolidation, and now we have a breakout from this downtrend right here. To me, this looks like a bull flag. And I think that there's a good chance that the 10-year rips. If it rips in a fast pace, and that's the trick right here, it's got to be quickly, right? It's got to be looking like that, right? It's got to be this and not this. I think that the trajectory, the angle matters. If it's 45 degrees, that's fine. If it's 90 degrees, that's a big deal. This is where we got into big problems, where the market says, "Whoa, what's going on?" And looking at the weekly chart, right? Let's look at the weekly chart. I think that it may, I think 2% is very likely. That's not that big of a deal, right? But I think it may be able to get to 3%. If it gets to 3% pretty quickly, again, 3% isn't huge. It's been here for a long time, and the market's done extremely well, 3%. But how it gets here, it'd be a double. And if it doubles, but the line looks like this, but going up, if it looks like this, right? This is what spooks markets, these quick moves. If it grinds like this, and then that would have been, we don't want to see this, then it kind of grinds out, that would be fine with me. I think that'd be fine for the market. So that's what I'm watching, the 10-year yield. I think that's the important thing. All right, so I do have two short squeeze positions on. So let's just go over those real fast. Switch back to a hollow candle. All right, so here we go. This is the Love Sack, Love, Love. I bought in at $59, which was 4.5. Let's go ahead and just put, where's 4.5 at? Am I still on weekly? I'm still on weekly. Hold on. Let's go to daily. There we go. So there's my annotation right there. I bought on this candle right here at $59. And so far, it's just been grinding higher. That's my 23 day. We had a close below it here, but that was a decent candle. Next day, it just totally reversed. Beautiful candle yesterday. So this one, I'm just going to keep riding it up, see what happens. Hopefully, the shorts get tired and eventually sell completely in this one. I'm looking for a sharp move higher, and that would be my get out. Um, like I said, it may go all the way to 100, and then, that could be a spot too. And Arch. Arch is my other one. So I bought over here at, I'm going to go ahead and just delete this for now. So I bought right here at 49.76, and it did kind of turn down on me, and I was about to sell it right here, and I gave it literally one more day. And I don't like the look of this candle, but I gave it one more day, and the next day it reversed completely, and now has been up every day since. Beautiful thing. Lucky for me, right? Again, this is a big area, so this is actually still very actionable also. I think that if it gets above, basically where it's at now, if it continues to move higher, it may need some consolidation here, but I think this one could be a big mover too. Um, it's a resource name, Arch Resources. I think they do coal or something, but I think they're moving into other things too. Anyway, whatever they're doing, I don't care. All I know is the chart is looking constructive, and I think that this is a beautiful base. If it could keep moving higher, um, I'm glad I'm part of it. Let's put it that way. Uh, all right, so that's what I got. So my positions, how I'm trading it, where I entered, where I'm selling, and the mistakes I've made. Right, this is completely honest and transparent, and hopefully you get something from it. Especially my impatience and some of my buys. Definitely something I am working on. Um, I knew what I wanted, and I was definitely had some FOMO in some of those names. So is what it is. All right. If you like these videos, like and subscribe to my channel. I thank you very much for that. It does help me out. Find me on Twitter at AlphaCharts365. Good luck this week, and let me know what names you liked. All right. Have a great day.